Okay, last but not least, we're going to hear from I'm going to call them the housing visionaries from Project Alex Communities. I don't want to embarrass you or anything, but Project Alex is a group of parents working together to realize the vision of creating a safe living environment for their young adults with disabilities alongside individuals without disabilities to foster a true community atmosphere. I want you to, they have like a contingency over here, the Project Alex contingency. So please help me welcome Joelle Brescia, Tony Brescia, and Don Germano from Project Alex.
There we are. Hi, everybody. Thanks, Linda. Thanks, everybody, for inviting us here. Basically, that's our mission statement. It's a lot of gobbledygook. But our main purpose, our main thought process was we're a group of parents who wasn't sure whether ASILA was going to be right for our kids, not right for our kids. So we came up with an idea of having a community within a community. Having our kids, our young adults live together in groups on one side of a building, and then parents or non-disabled folks, other members of the community living together on the other side and forming a great big community that interact together and work together and just are responsible for each other. We are a group of parents. We're no different than you. We do have a ex-educator with us also who keeps us kind of in line because she knows some of the things we don't. And we're just trying to work through the system. We're fairly new. We're about 3 years old. And we're just trying to go through things. What do we do? Right now, we're just sort of thinking and helping and trying to figure out which direction we want to go. We do know that we're just parents, so we can't build a building. That's not our expertise. We know that we're really good at keeping our kids busy. We know we're really good at planning things for them to do inside the building. So we've decided that we're going to try to work with a developer and architects and different people to create this building, and then when it's all done, we're going to run the inside of it and do the social aspects, raise money to help our kids subsidize things that they want to do, the rent they want to do, and different things from there. Here is who we are, our board. They're all sort of over there in the corner. Our kids, these are the kids that we tried to model everything active. From, as you can see by their list that's in your stuff, that they're all really active kids. They bowl, they race, they swim, they take place in different activities. So we didn't want a place where the kids are just going to sit and do nothing. In our vision, some of the kids, if they don't have a job, might be able to work within the facility. Some of the kids will still go out to jobs if they've got jobs. Whatever's needed, we're going to be able to put together. So I'm going to pass it on.
So what is our vision? So after hearing everything that we've heard today, I feel like I need to stand here and say, and now for something completely different. Every idea is wonderful. I think no one child is the same, so no one living environment is going to be the same. Our vision is suite-like living for residents. 3 to 4 people per pod, if you will. This is just an example. This is not our drawing. With availability for aides if needed in the pods. Some people might have a group of 3 people that need more assistance than others, and some can live on their own without any assistance, but still have friends in the same area. The other side of the coin would be the community living, which would be apartments, where community members will live and interact in the same venue, if you will, having social activities, helping out with activities. As Tony had mentioned, there may be some job opportunities. Most of our kids go out. My son is out for 5 days a week at programs or at work. Some people can, some people can't. Some people maybe want to do something in addition to what they're doing. There might be a little gift shop. There might be office work available for people to help out with. There might be, if there's a cafeteria, we would like to have some sort of eating area They can help out with the tables. They can help out serving if that's what they're capable of doing. Landscaping, helping out with things in the yard and out in the landscape areas. Social gatherings. Yes, 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 yes. We want as many social gatherings, whether it's game nights, movie nights, book clubs, things that they're doing now, maybe incorporate those within picnics, anything we can do with our kids. It's not an institution. We are not trying to build an institution. Our goals are fun, our goals are community, and our goals are just to have everybody living in one environment together, forming the community. Before I bring Don up, I just want to explain that one of the ways this will work is we're not looking for the parents to do everything for the kids. We're looking to have other people involved. We're looking to have maybe the kids and the parents form a committee as far as the social aspects that come up and things like that. But as you guys know, I don't know when the last time is you've taken a vacation independently from your child. I know I haven't for a very, very long time. We believe in this model that our children will be embraced by this community neighborhood atmosphere where they get to know everyone. It's just like what they were saying this morning. We need to, get this all worked out before it happens to make sure everyone living together, can live together and have a good time doing it. So when we're gone, we know that our kids will be in with the environment and the neighborhood, and they'll be taken care of while we're gone. Maybe when our neighbors are gone, we look after their child for them just to, when we're all gone, there's still people available for them. So that's our vision and our model, and I'll turn it over to Don for what we've done so far.
Rest assured, I understand that I'm the last person standing between you and getting out on this nice, gorgeous day. So to alleviate your fears, I'm not going to go through all of the remainder of the slides. A lot of them are in there for context, okay? So I'd like to just highlight some of the main slides and some of our accomplishments. Back in 2015, this group of parents got together and we hosted a forum, and we invited folks to come and talk to us about their vision and what they would like to see, and 70 people showed up. So we enlisted the help of a fiscal sponsor who we could use to help to raise funds, and we raised enough funds to actually commission a feasibility study by Ground Floor Partners out of Chicago. And once they delivered the study in March of 2017, we saw that we had a viable model. So we went ahead and incorporated as our own nonprofit within Illinois, and filed the paperwork to become a 501c3, and in August of 2017, that was granted. To date, we have an initial set of architectural drawings, and we're also talking to an architect to actually fund conceptual drawings. So we'll have a lot better visualization of our model. And we need this because we're now taking the time to use our feasibility study and to try to sell the business model to developers. And what did the study tell us? Well, it said, hey, this concept of these mixed communities is feasible. Obviously, we all know there's a great demand for this out there. We're going to need to partner because we're not experts. So we need to get the developers involved, the architects, the financial individuals. We probably should do it in phases, start small, and then expand on it. At the time, and again, remember, this is 2015, 2016, when the feasibility study was being done, they didn't find a lot of facilities within the nation similar to our concept. But since that time, we're starting to hear about communities that are using that concept to various degrees. So that's a great thing. It's getting out there. People are moving in that direction. One of the things that was pointed out, and I know a lot of you in this room understand it, but there are a lot of individuals in this situation. And one of the learning points we've had in talking to developers is when we deliver them the feasibility study, because that's our stages. They sign a secrecy agreement, we get them the feasibility study, and then we sit down and talk. The first thing they tell us is, we never knew there was this much demand. And that, to us, on one hand, is a great thing, because that's a business opportunity, because we're trying to present to the developers, hey, there is this opportunity out there. Now, as we've gone further in our discussions with developers, we're finding they're running into a roadblock when they go talk to the financial guys. Because the financial guys go, oh, wow, this is too unique. What does this compare to? And then they come up with the final question is, what would we do with this facility after it went bankrupt? And we're trying to educate through the developers, the financial folks, to not ask that question, all right? To understand that this is an opportunity, not just for a one-time facility and community, but an opportunity to grow within the nation from that end. So we've had several discussions. It's a slow process. It's an educational process. We just have to constantly be talking to the developers and trying to get their trust in that, we don't know it all, but we're going to try to connect with everyone that they can to get the information that they need. And they particularly like the input that we get, and we have in our feasibility study from the individual families that participated in the interview process. And that's helped them understand the needs that the individuals had. And like was mentioned at the beginning of this summit, one size does not fit all. So all, models are different, and so we got to take different tacks to get to our solution space. But in the end, there is this great need for the housing. We like the concept of the neighborhood, and we particularly like the concept of having the mixed mode with the individuals that don't have the disabilities, and the idea that the benefits could extend to the resident. And the other thing we're working on is we've started an endowment. So we want to the best of our abilities, guarantee perpetuity, all right? So that, as Joelle said, once we're gone, there is another wave of individuals, and there's enough funding to keep things going. Because we don't want several generations down the line for things to stop, all right? Because we've got people in various points of their life, and both on the disabled side and also on the abled side, and we want to make sure that we can cover that, as many needs as we can. It's a tall order, all right? But that's the type of business opportunity we're trying to deliver to the developers so that they can start to think of it. Well, okay, we've got senior centers out there, they're viable. Why isn't this a model that can be viable and start moving forward? So, that's our plan, that's our plea. We're actively looking for business partners. As soon as we connect with a developer who finally signs on the dotted line, then we're going to take off. But for now, we're still in that process of constant conversation and constant education. So, are there any questions?
So, I'm an interested person, parent. What can we do to be a part of what you're doing? Can we give a newsletter? Can we become involved? What?
Sure, we've got a sign-up list up here. If you sign up, we'll put you on the newsletter. You can also go to projalex.org, and on the we have a newsletter page, and you actually can sign up electronically. And we put out a newsletter about once a quarter, and also informational communications on a regular basis. We don't want to flood your email. Everybody gets too many, but we try to, on important information, try to provide it when needed.
Other questions?
I'm just going to pass the sheet around if anyone's interested.
And we have
Got a question?
Just prospective population, low to moderate income, what's the range?
Yeah, the feasibility study told us that we could provide in any income range, all right? It's just going to be a decision as to the type of funding that we could get to support it. We'd like to do this privately, if at all possible, so we have more control over it. From that standpoint, it'll most likely be a lease model. On the disabled side of things, we want to stay within the level of funding that's provided, so there wouldn't have to be ancillary, monies on that end. It's on the parent side or the family side that we're going to try to hit a nice number that is available to as many as possible. But we can't say it's going to be open to all. It's just going to be dependent on finances. That's a great question.
I just want to add that we're not saying that parents have to move in. If the child wants to move in without the family moving in, that's fine too. But some families have approached us and do want to live near or within the same area.
And what city are you looking, or what area are you looking to build?
Right now, we're looking in northwest suburbs here. One of the things we've learned from the developers is land isn't a big issue to them, all right? They said, don't worry about that. We've got the connections, we can find the land. And that's when they said, our biggest issue is getting the business case to present to the financial folks. And one of the things we're doing right now in the interim, while we're working with the developers, is we've raised enough money to start offering programs. So we're now offering free programs to the disabled adults on a quarterly basis. And these are the kind of programs that we envision offering in the community when the community is built. And so if you're on our newsletter, you'll receive invites to those programs. The more the merrier. We would sure like to have as many disabled adults participating in our programs as possible.
I just wanted to mention that something that we sometimes don't remember is that for at least the last 10 years, we've all been inundated with special needs trust funds. So a lot of us have trust funds for our kids. So it's not so that their lives could be sustainable after we're gone. So as your planners are talking to the financial people, we're not talking about a population that's going to be poor after their parents die. They'll probably be wealthier than their parents ever were. So that's something for them to consider too as they talk to the financial people.
That's a great suggestion.
In your examples in the handout, you're using Friendship Village. Is there?
Let me go ahead and ask your question.
Well, I just wondered if you are aware of any communities similar to Friendship Village for disabled people in the country.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Madison House. You go to Madison House or home.org. Also,
Is that Madison House?
It's Madison House.
they created a vision that I don't know where they are. I can't remember.
Or if they're in Madison, Wisconsin, I don't think they are. But if you go on the resource list, there's the autismhousingnetwork.org. It has on there a list of different creative communities, sheltered communities. I don't know how else to say this, so I apologize, it's late. My word retrieval is horrible. Anyway, but that's another place to go look and see what's out there. And you can also look at the Autism Speaks website, the United Cerebral Palsy, Down Syndrome Society. You'll see all those links on the resources that will help you narrow it down. But the first place I would go and the most beneficial is the autismhousingnetwork.org. There's a lot going on. They just had a webinar last month on creating and developing these housing communities. Again, I apologize for the vocabulary.
No, that's awesome. And I just wanted to address the Friendship Village thing really quick. Both my parents live in Friendship Village, and this...
I'm aware. I had a mother-in-law who lived there until she passed away, so I'm familiar with it.
Right, and that's where the idea came from. because you see the people all socializing together, you see them all having dinner together, playing pool together, swimming, you know, stuff. I said, why can't we have this for our kids? I asked for a tour of Friendship Village. I asked if they, you know, if some of our board members went and took the tour of Friendship Village. When we took the pictures, of course, we couldn't take pictures of residents because, you know, that was just their policy, understandably. But that's what you don't see. You don't see the environment and the community. And some people don't even know what senior centers are like anymore. They're beautiful. They're not what they used to be.
And they have the color-coded halls.
Color-coded hallways.
And,
and the one thing, the person that took us around for the tour, it's going to stick with me because she used to be a social worker in special education before she became, and she was like, this is wonderful. Everything we're doing is wonderful that we're looking for our kids, not just our model, but everything we're trying to do. She said they get asked all the time if their children with disabilities can move in with the parents because they don't have anywhere for them to go. And she said, you wouldn't believe how many people ask us this question. She said, unfortunately, we don't have programming for them. Now, I don't know what that answer meant. Is it like, oh, do you need someone to provide programming for you? You know, is that a way we should go or what? But she, you know, she just said, you know, we all know that. The need is out there. And that's why the Friendship Village pictures are up there, just to give people example of what these senior living facilities look like. They're really nice.
We have time for one last question.
So unfortunately, we're all getting older. And have you thought about incorporating for the parent side a nursing home type structure so that you can grow old together with your kids? So that it hits all the facets, not just the one small facet of you're helping out. Well, you've got these last 20 years or so before it starts to decline. Sorry.
no, and that's...
But it's part of it. And then, you know, the kids actually could do volunteer work with those older adults. And they could take them from room to room, and they could do their laundry. You know, there's a lot, I mean, it's a whole community there's a lot that could be done there.
And that's the perfect concept of the phases. If we can get, you know, first phase in, and then you start to address the aging needs, it's actually on both sides, eventually, you know, and so, you know, you've got that in there. And that's why, you know, we've even had some conversations with senior, you know, facilities like Joelle did, you know, trying to get the word out there because maybe that's an opportunity for them also, you know. Yeah.
Great job. Thank you so much. We want to just thank you all for your participation and your thoughtful questions. We hope you found some value today. Thank you.